Welcome to the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad. This 53 miles of track was once part of the Southern Railway's Murphy branch. While the railroad primarily runs excursions pulled by diesel locomotives, the railroad's most famous and iconic locomotive is number 1702, a 280 type steam locomotive built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works in 1942. In this program, we will cover two separate journeys pulled by the 1702 along the Tuckaseegee River and the Nantahala Gorge. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy as the Queen of the Smoky Mountain Express takes us on a journey back in time. We begin our first journey on the east end of the line in the city of Dillsboro, North Carolina. The year is 2021, with 2022 just a day away. With 1702 semi-permanently facing the west, the diesels pulled the train into Dillsboro. The real fun begins on the westbound train, though, as the 1702 pulls out of Dillsboro and slowly crawls through the GSMR workshop. The tender sitting on the hill above the tracks belongs to the Southern Railway 722, another 280 that was built in 1904. This locomotive actually ran on the Murphy branch and later ran excursions with the Southern in the 60s and 70s. As of 2025, this locomotive is currently being restored to operating condition by the GSMR and will join the 1702 in running excursions. After crossing the river outside of Dillsboro and passing through the Cowie Tunnel, the train runs downhill along the river. The train then enters the farmlands of Thomas Valley. One such farm was obviously aware of all the Railfans in the area, as he parked an old truck in the field with the sole purpose of adding something to the Railfans' photos. As the train approaches Whittier, we catch it one more time as it crosses Clearwood Drive, no doubt adding some excitement to the farmer's day. After passing through Thomas Valley, the train crosses the county line and rolls through the town of Whittier. This town once served as the halfway point between Asheville and Murphy. It was a huge railroad town back in the day, with a depot in the center that extended 0.5 miles from the station. The community was a center of commerce for both the lumber and farming industries. Just east of Bryson City, the train crosses the Tuckaseegee River for a second time before beginning the climb up Ferguson Hill. The 1702 may be small, and the train may be heavy, but for what this locomotive lacks in size, she makes up for it in power. Plus, having diesels on the end also helps. After reaching the top of Ferguson, the train is on a home stretch to Bryson City. We caught it one more time as it rounds the bend over Deep Creek Road. Once in Bryson City, the 1702 is cut from the train and makes its way towards the turntable. Bryson City serves as the railroad's terminus, a fitting location as the city served as the terminus for the Murphy branch all the way back in 1913. After being turned on the turntable, the locomotive will be parked in its small shed for the night. As we left the 1702 in Bryson City, little did we know that this would be one of its last times looking like this. The following year, she would be modified with a dual-beam headlight and auto bell, but the biggest changes came in the way of paintwork. The 1702 was repainted in the Southern Railway freight scheme. The locomotive was further modified in 2025 with a silver-painted fire and smoke box, along with white walls and a Nathan 6-chime whistle. We would catch the engine in the summer of this year as she pulled the train along the Nantahala Gorge. We begin just west of Bryson City as the 1702 crosses the Tuckaseegee River one more time. Crossing the river, the train begins ascending the grade as it makes its way around the horseshoe curve. After rounding the curve, the train continues to battle the steep grade until finally reaching the top at GSMR. Once it tops the grade, the locomotive runs downhill over the Fontana Lake. This lake was created in the 1940s when the namesake Fontana Dam was built to satisfy the skyrocketing electricity demands in the Tennessee Valley. As a result, many towns found themselves underwater. One of these towns was named Almond. Almond was the site of a post office as well as a hub for several mining and logging operations. It also served as a shipping terminal for the local farmers in the area. Although most of the town is underwater today, the post office, school, and railway depot were all relocated. The latter building continues to be a popular site for photographers. train continues downhill to the Nantahala Outdoor Center. Established in 1972, the Outdoor Center offers a wide range of activities such as ziplining, mountain biking, and of course, whitewater rafting. Once it glides through the Outdoor Center, the train begins another uphill battle along the gorge, putting on a show for the rafters. The train's journey comes to an end at the foot of Red Marble Grade. This 3.5-mile stretch of track is not only the steepest part on the Murphy Branch, but one of the steepest railroad grades in the country, with an average of 4.2%. While GSMR does own the tracks, the grade has sat abandoned since 2001. It is here that the 1702 brings its train to a halt. Rafters will be dropped off at this location, and the diesels will pull the train back to the Nantahala Outdoor Center for a 90-minute layover before taking the train home. It is also here that we would part ways with the train, as we had a long journey home to make ourselves. I'd like to thank you all for joining us on these two amazing journeys. We hope you enjoyed them, and from all of us here at Blue Smoke Productions, we hope to see you again real soon.